Hi Aquarius, welcome to your mid-month reading. As always, keep in mind that this is only a general reading. Always take what it feels right and with what does resonate within your own life experiences during this time. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, please contact me through the email I put in the description box below. For the month of April, as usual, I have a special sales offer available. And for this month, celebrating the new astrological year and the Aries season as a whole, it's called What's New Behind the Corner, and it's a reading, that looks upon what kind of new opportunities, changes, and beginnings are on the rise for us all. So if you would like to know more details about that special offer or any other of my services, again, just email me. Or if you would like to donate and support my channel, you can also do that by following the PayPal link, which is also down below. So, Aquarius, some of you might be feeling extremely tired, or there's this overburn energy, so you might be working too much or concerning yourselves too much. There's something that is weighing so heavy in your energy field, and it's like a burden that you don't seem to be able to be free from, and it's starting to get you into this angry mode or into a very deep state of frustration. And for some of you, this frustration level is like on the rise and it's reaching its limits. So in mid April, you can find that you have some sort of temper tantrum, blowout, discussion, that goes over the top because you just can't stand something anymore. And the energy presented here that you can't stand anymore is actually something inside of you that you can't stand anymore. But you might not consciously see this right away, and you might be really triggered and have a huge discussion, conflict, argument that is like that final straw that takes the situation to its for some of you to its ending point. So be mindful that there are situations that might be stretched to the limit during this time. Some of you might be already dealing with something prior to mid-April that was a stretch, so like where you needed to move the extra mile and the extra mile and the extra mile to get results, and you might just drop it because you can't stand again the energy, because it feels like it's too much for you, because it feels like it's unnatural, or because you just you stop seeing the point in doing so much and perhaps gaining so little. And I feel like some of your Aquarius are in this notion here during mid-April that you're not earning what you deserve. So this could be literal to money, as you also have the Page of Pentacles as your advice. You could be really concerned with the money you're receiving, so feeling like you're not paid according to your according to your job, according to what you deserve, or you're just not respected in your relationship, you're not respected by your family and friends. You don't seem to find here that something is valuing you the way you want or the way you deserve. And indeed, this might be something that you're just not up to tolerate anymore. For some of you that are concerned with, a lot of financial burden here, so you're concerned with bills, you're concerned with the future, you're concerned with not having enough, you're concerned with work. There seems to be something manifested for some of you in May, more towards May, that might be like more like a short temporary thing but will help you hold things together. For those that are worried with finances, I feel like there will be an opportunity to bring some comfort into your life, or additional funds for those that are really in need of that. And I feel like for some of you are, but also getting angry about it is not going to help you, and help the situation. It's important that you address as well something here related to your value system when it comes to money, when it comes to resources. There's something about your relationship with money that is not the best one. Some of you either feel anger towards it, rejection towards it, uh, guilt, fear. There's a lot of negative emotions here. The spectrum of negative emotions associated with money and wealth is higher than positive ones for some of you that I'm connecting. So this needs to be figured out, because we can't attract abundance in a state of being like that. How could we, if we don't feel abundant, if we don't feel deserving, if we don't feel good about money, about earning money, about receiving money, if we don't even understand that money is an energy just like any other? There's something here for you to figure out when it comes to money or your values. Also, for some of you that this is more about work or health, because it can be about anything dealing with the material world. For some of you, in terms of health, your recovery is not going as fast. Some of you that are in recovery is not going as fast as you would like, but it's getting there. Just be patient. This is a time of patience, Aquarius. It's not a time of fighting against whatever circumstances you're presented with, because that's just going to intensify the already, bitter feelings you're having. So just let this time pass. Let this time pass. And focus, Page of Pentacles, focus on the actual solutions you have at hand, because you're extremely resourceful. Or you will be presented a way here to multiply what you already have in terms of options, in terms of anything that you most need right now, anything that you most find that you need that assistance. You want assistance, but yet you reject it. There's something about something coming at your door and you not opening it. Perhaps it's a sense of pride. Perhaps it's a sense of shame. Really, it's like mid-April is kind of scanning all of these concepts, moral concepts, that some of you have that, are not helping you, because the Hierophant is here as a challenge. So definitely you have ideas, you have beliefs that are working against your needs right now. Whatever those are, it's not a matter of telling you, oh, you're wrong, you need to change, your belief systems, but you need to adapt perhaps some of it to when you are in the line, or something that is really precious and essential to your life is on the line. Is your pride going to save it? Is your pride going to help you? Is your pride going to help the situation? No. Is your inflexibility going to help you? So there's a test when it comes to where you might be rigid, where you might be, there's something here about this feeling like of absolute certainty that some of you hold that might be questioned, or you feel like is being questioned, and you don't like it because, again, this feeling of adapting to a circumstance, adapting to a reality that is not so much in your control. Again, it might be something that makes you feel very uncomfortable. Also, the Hierophant as a challenge can point that you're against tradition, you're against status quo, you're against, what you're being told, what you're being taught, what you're being guided about, what you're being advised about. It can point that there's difficulties in institutions of all sorts, including marriage. So for those of you that are married, for those of you that are in a union, again, as I said in the beginning, it's an overload moment. And so you need to be careful, because this overload, if you don't sit and have some moments for yourself to decompress out in nature, out in contact with the things that you still find beautiful, the things that you still find joy in, with the things that you still see progress and hope in, if you don't get some time for yourself, you can really drive yourself crazy during this time. So when you're feeling over the edge, about to explode and you don't want to put in danger anything you hold dear in your life, take some time to do things that in which you find pleasure and in which you find some meaning. It's one of those times, it's not about avoiding the issue, but we shouldn't say anything and make decisions neither when we're overly happy or overly angry. So take some time to decompress, to put things in perspective, to really deeply think about it, and then act. And if you need to say something you don't like, say something. And if you need to do something, but not in a state of overload, of overstress, because most likely what you will say or do under that condition, you're going to regret it. For some of you, as I was saying, and I got lost here, you just like what some of your Aquarius is like whatever you're being told, basically. Whatever you're being counseled, guided, you feel like this counseling or this energy given here doesn't get you. It doesn't get, the real problem you have at hands. It doesn't help you that much. You feel like the help or the assistance that is coming in is still minor in comparison to what you have at hands. You could really be getting, angry with teachers, with healers, with doctors, with your elders, with member families like that are older, like your grandparents, your parents, all those that it's interesting because this speaks a lot about Saturn energy being in Aquarius, which a transit that we are now on, and we immediately as Aquarius, as Saturn, went into the sign of Aquarius, we really started to see what this is about, and we still have more like a basically 2-year journey with this placement. And obviously Saturn being in Aquarius is going to affect Aquarius souls more prominently. And Saturn deals with discipline, limitations, restrictions, lessons, karma. It's never a fun transit to have. And for those that are in the first decan of the Aquarius energy, for those that are celebrate your birthday in the first weeks of Aquarius season, for those that have Aquarius placements in the early degrees, this is a time where that influence of Saturn is going to find a way to come in and whip here. There's an energy of whipping, of trying to impose discipline, restriction, awareness in an area that you would rather not have that call of attention. And also, I was saying this because Saturn represents figures of authority, and it represents the father energy, the grandfather energy, all of those in terms of hierarchy, being family or societally speaking, they're higher than us, in higher position. So you might not want to attend to Saturn, whatever Saturn is trying to tell you during mid-April in particular, and still need to deal with it. So it's not just because you will not attend to it that will not keep pressuring you to do something about it, because when Saturn is really with us, as I feel obviously it is for us all, most particularly in Aquarius, is an extreme amount of pressure, because basically you're being called to be your absolute best self. You're being called to be a grown-up. You're called to be accountable and responsible. And no matter what we say, no matter what we think of ourselves, when we are under that absolute pressure, when we under that how you call it, like that mandatory energy, we have a tendency to rebel. That's why the forbidden fruit is so attractive, right? Why? Because we put it into it the concept that it's forbidden. So rules, they exist, they have a purpose, but we tend to rebel against rules because they are seen as limitations, because they're seen as an opposite guide that we have no control in, right? So we didn't choose that rule. Someone chose that rule for us. So how couldn't it be right? That's the individual mindset. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily your case, but something in your mid-month is bringing this question of you accepting a rule, a limitation, a lesson, an advice, a responsibility or not. So I hope you have a great mid-month. Thank you so much for all of you that have been liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and donating to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see each other soon.